Hello everyone, we are going to go through the chapter 11 today. Chapter 11 is crystals, ions and solutions. The outline of this chapter is we are going to talk about solids, the types of crystals the solids made up of, and the bonding in solids. And the other variety of materials are solutions, a formation of the solutions, types of solutions, the very important solution which is water. We're going to talk more about water, and then acids and bases, and we're going to talk about strong acids, strong bases, and the pH scale. Solids. In chapter 10, we learned about the periodic table of elements, in which we talked about what elements are, how the compounds are formed, how to balance an equation, how to write electron configuration. All those things we learned in chapter 10, which gives us the idea of how the materials are made up. And atomic theory will continue to assist in our understanding of matter, because the periodic table is the base of every material existing in this universe, and all the principles which are exhibited in the periodic table are going to be continued throughout. Matter. All matter can be classified into one of these four states. Let's see what those are: solids, liquids, gases, and plasma. So any material, all the materials, I shouldn't say all the materials. The materials can be classified into four different categories. One is solids, liquids, gases, and plasma. So we can also call this as phases of material. Okay, so material could exist in any one of these four forms. Now let's talk about what is a solid. Each atom in a solid oscillates about a fixed position relative to other atoms or molecules in the solid. So even though the solid, it looks like a fixed object which is not doing anything, but within the solid, the smallest tiny particles of that material, the atoms, they vibrate in their positions. So that's the solid. So you do not have any room to move from one place to other place, but they, in their position, they keep on vibrating. So that's what is the solid. A solid means it does not have a shape determined by its environment. Something like if you have a water, you pour the water in a cup, you get the shape of the cup. If you put the same thing in a bucket, the water gets the same shape of the bucket. But these solids are the solids which will have particular shape without them being inside of any other container or object or environment. So that's why we call them solids. They have a defined shape without being dependent on any other object or environment. Solids can be classified in broad groups. The solids can further be classified as crystalline materials, amorphous materials, or mixture of crystalline and amorphous materials. So now we are going to talk about in detail about what these three types of materials are again. So now let's see the crystalline materials. Atoms oscillate about regularly ordered points. So just like a wall, let's say. So you put all these bricks nicely organized fashion to make a nice wall or a three-dimensional diagram. So something like that. So all the atoms are regularly ordered. That is called lattice. So you will have one base point, and all these base points will be used into make a bigger version of it. So you can see one of the examples right here. You can see that this is a main structure is used in, let's say, diamond or any other material, I should say. So all these structures would be used in order to make the bigger structure. So that's what is the crystalline. So you will have this kind of structures all over, and that's this crystalline structure. And some of the examples of crystals are diamonds, tin, silicon, sodium chloride, quartz, gold. So you can see that most of the solids are crystals. The other type is amorphous. Atoms oscillate in about positions that are in randomly oriented points. So all these atoms within the material, they vibrate or they oscillate in randomly oriented point. And you can see the example right here is the glass, an amorphous form of silicon dioxide. Just like an example is the uh, car's windshield when when it gets into an accident. So you can see that the glass would not break in particular order, but it will just break into small, tiny chunks. So that's what is kind of an amorphous material example. So you can see the picture of it, that it is vibrating at random shape and randomly oriented points. And these crystalline solids again made in four different categories. So the crystalline solid materials can be formed in four different ways, and those are explained right here. One is ionic solids, covalent solids, metallic solids, molecular solids. So as you can see that they are classified into four basic groups, and this classification is based on the bonding in the solid. So the bonding between the atoms or bonding between the ions, that is what made these solids get the name ionic, covalent, or metallic, or molecular. So, as you might expect, the ionic solid, as the name indicates, the bonding between the atoms would be the ionic bonds, and the metallic solids, the metallic bonds, covalent solid, covalent bonds, molecular solid, bonds between the molecules. As their names indicate, this is what is the reason they are named that way. And let's talk in detail about ionic crystals.